much too much. I love you much too much. I've known it from the start, right from the start. But yet my love is such, I can't control my heart.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Strikeout Bros. I'm Pablo. We got Lost over there. What's good, baby?
What's going on, man? It's
Man,
uh,
tell me.
it's this past week was a good week for both of our teams. I know it might not feel like it for you, but it's actually
No,
pretty
no,
good. We both had good home stands. We won both of our series at home, and now we're both on the road, taking on Boston. You're taking on Seattle.
yeah,
So if they can keep that momentum going,
there's
remember it's
no.
all about winning series. You don't have to sweep the games. If you sweep,
eh,
great. That's icing on the top. But if you
Yeah,
could just take 2 out of 3. You got, win games, winning games, win series. Winning series, Eagles moving up in the standings. So,
perfect way to say it.
yeah, and the Mets, at this homestand, I felt like the offense was, finally putting it together a little bit. They're a little more
Yeah,
productive.
it was starting to click.
Yeah, especially the guys you were least expecting, and some of the guys you were expecting. Soto's been great, man, since he's came back. He's just been like hasn't skipped a beat.
Yeah,
So
he's a
that's
machine.
a good sign. Yeah, he's definitely a machine. But it'll be interesting when Lindor comes back how he does.
For
But
some reason, I feel like he's not hurt. I feel like they're just trying to figure out what to do with him because I don't think it's working out for them. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's so weird. This team is so
it's a big
weird.
problem to not work out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's easily, tradable. A lot of teams will look at Lindor and say, you know what, he wants to be a leader. We need a leader here. Let's do that. There's a lot of teams out there. There's 29 other teams. So we can find a fit for him. We just have to like what we get in return. I think I'm going to use the word cancer, but maybe it's being too harsh. I don't know. I think he's the cancer, though. I think he's the type of player that can really fuck up a whole ball club. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't. That's the only word I can think of too. There's no other term for it because um they just seem to he just seems to clash heads with everyone, and all those guys are gone, but you're still having the same
Oh,
problems. You know what I mean? Now we're not hearing about like fights in the locker room. At least maybe they've done a good job of keeping it under wraps. But you can just tell that the team is just carrying themselves differently. They just don't have a lot of energy. They're just like just going through the motions of the game, and I don't know if they're just feeding off of Lindor's energy or what's going on. It doesn't seem to affect
so,
Soto,
oh,
so that's good.
yeah, that's great.
But everyone else, because you know why it probably doesn't affect him because they know and he knows that he's not the leader of the team, so there's less pressure on him. So now everyone's looking at
True.
him like, "Come on, man, we gave you all this money, and you're the leader of the franchise. Come on, man, what's going on?" So I think that does play a factor. The problem with Lindor, I think, is he comes off as like, oh, he's buddy buddies with everybody, but behind the door, behind the scenes, he's not buddy buddies. He has people he likes, who he doesn't like. If people are agreeing with him, and then the other thing is he lets his stupid politics involve and his opinions and all that, and it's just that probably gets in the way. They don't agree. His ideas are not the same as the others, and that's normal in any walk of life, right? Any
Yeah,
organization you work for or teams, but you still put those differences aside and
the
work on the
effort of
job. you
exactly.
know. But they're not
Exactly.
doing that. He doesn't see. He seems to allow his issues. I don't know. Maybe I'm just guessing. It's baseball issues or whatever it is. that's getting the best of him because to see what's what's upsetting me about Lindor this year is all the stupid fielding errors that he makes. That he makes
Yeah,
99% of the time. Those drive me. I'm like the guy in the game I always think of is the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis beginning a couple of about a month ago. He gets the ball right to him. He steps on the base. It's only one out, and he doesn't throw it to second. The first baseman, they would have got out of the inning. And because of that, St. Louis came back and scored, and so on and so on. So there's a bunch of Blaze blunders, and then he doesn't blame himself. He blames on everybody else. He goes up to the stand and smiles and charades like, "Hey!" What's another thing that drives me crazy is when all these teams do all these home run celebrations, especially when you're down by a lot. The Mets do, the Orioles do. The Orioles they put on the stupid
yeah.
Baltimore Ravens hat. Bro, you're getting killed 14-2. Shut the hell up. Don't do this celebration nonsense. All sports teams do it. It drives me crazy. Like no one goes up. You know what these? Mendoza drives me crazy because he'll say in interviews, what was it? One of the pitchers, Peterson or something. He didn't cover home plate and the run scored. It was off last week or so, and he goes, when they ask him, "Have you talked to the guy yet?" You know what he said to the media? "No, I haven't talked to the guy." What are you talking about? How do you not talk to the pitcher about a major incident that cost you the game because you didn't cover the base? That's something they teach you in Little League, and then you telling me that most managers they'll address that issue right then and there, like in between the innings. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Yeah.
And the fact that and also I don't know, this in baseball and any sports, they give the media, they give the coaches and the players a 10-minute cool off before they speak to the media. And so you're telling me in that 10 minutes you didn't talk to Peterson, whoever it was, I think it was Peterson. Dude, why didn't you cover the home plate? We freaking lost the game, things like that. And you go up to the media, yeah, I'll talk to him about it. If you told us you haven't talked to him, you know what that tells me? You're probably not going to talk to him about it. Because, one, you don't have the balls. Two, you don't have the cachet. Three, these players don't want to hear from you because they know that you have no cachet. You're not a Buck Showalter. You're not a Joe Torre. You're not a Bruce Bochy or Snicker. All these guys who have,
You're not going to punish him?
No.
So don't say anything. Because if you're not going to punish him, don't say anything.
But the problem is but here's the problem. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face because now you're setting a precedent. Like, hey, if I screw up in this game, nothing's going to happen. Do you think they went after Lindor when he dropped that ball, when he didn't throw the ball to second base or the first baseman? No, they didn't. He didn't say nothing because you know why? Mendoza's like, I make $4 million. This guy's making $340 million. I ain't shit. You know what I mean? So you think he's going to speak up to him? No. And that's the problem. They take away any control of the manager to have say because everything is run by computers and they've given full autonomy to the players to have say. It's like they allow the inmates to run the asylum. You know that stupid saying? And that's what's happening. And that's how locker rooms fracture. Locker rooms need two types of leader. You need the coach to be a leader and you need a player to be a leader. The player's leadership comes from is the leadership role of a player is to lead his fellow players around him. The leadership of a manager is to lead the whole team, not just whoever's playing at the moment. And Mendoza's not a good leader. I'm sure he's a good coach. He's a good third base, whatever he came from.
Nah.
And the problem is you've handcuffed these guys. They can't do anything because the minute you get on, why do you remember Joe Torre?
Who?
What's his name? Joe Girardi of the Yankees. You know why he got fired? Because he ripped into Gary Sanchez one time for blaming his blunder mistakes and non-producing, and they didn't like it. And he complained to the Yankees, Sanchez, and he got fired. And guess where both of them are? Not on the Yankees. And it's a shame because, back in the day, the 2000s and 90s and the 80s, players responded like, oh, man, my coach is on my butt. Oh, all right, he means business. And it actually worked, just like when you were a kid, if I goof around and my mom, as soon as she raises her voice and my dad, I was like, all right, cool, no more playing games. Time to get to work because now, things are starting to affect them, Same thing. But these guys, this is why they hire these guys. They cater to all sports. They cater to the player. They give the players what they want and blah, 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 blah. And that's why you don't see teams winning multiple championships in a row anymore like you used to. You won't see the Yankees ever again. Yeah, the Dodgers are an anomaly. But even Dave Roberts, he doesn't have a lot of cachet because everything is run by numbers. And these guys, to be a coach in MLB, You literally have to say, even though I hate analytics and I disagree with him, I'm gonna pretend and put my opinions aside and just go with what you give me, force feed down my throat, even though I don't agree with it. And then you take away the feeling out of the game, and that's the other problem.
Yeah, you definitely do. But at this point, it's working for them, so they're not gonna say, "Look, this is how we do it over here." You know, like it's okay.
It works if you have the right guys and everyone buys into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they have you know like 4 stars, and then they have they have the superstar, but then they have guys that implement the lineup. It works for them.
Because just think about it, reason why there's no way players agree that they agree to the they're all in on analytics. Because if I go up to Soto and say, "Hey Soto, man, I know you're on an 11 game heater right now and you're kicking butt, but because it's the 12th game, we're gonna rest you today." You think he's gonna be like, "Well, the numbers say after the 12th game your numbers drop down." You think he's gonna say, "Okay, coach, you're right, Mendoza. I'm just gonna sit down and blah 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 blah." Heck no. He's gonna be like, "Excuse me, no way. I'm on the street. Get the hell out of here. I'm just gonna, you know what I mean?" But they don't do that.
Yeah, I mean they run the show. That's what I can say. Like if I work for that type of organization. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna pretend I didn't hear them say, "Don't do that." You're scared. You want your money. You want to try to stick around for as long as possible. You don't want to be a problem.
Yeah, but you're worried about being a problem when you know that you being in the lineup is gonna be an asset to the team than you being a headache. Because remember this. You know what they say, like in football, right? If you're a jackwagon, right, but you perform, they can tolerate your jackwagon
Yeah,
behavior.
they will.
But
They
if I
will.
suck and I keep dropping the ball or I keep allowing the goals into the net, guess what? And on top of it, I'm a jackwagon. I'm like a Trevor Bauer who talks trash to everybody. That's not gonna fly. They're gonna throw me out the room.
That's what I'm
You know what I
trying to tell
mean?
you. This is why you try to survive as long as you can. And you go, you out, you perform, you try to make it happen. And then for the rest of it, you gotta kind of like stay quiet and just go with the flow. Just say you're not in the lineup. Well, you're gonna say you sure? They're gonna say yeah. You're gonna be like, all right. And this is the problem. Time. Look, today's the first time I see him pitch in who knows how long. And then
Since last year, I think I could be wrong.
no, he pitched like a week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. I want to say, but he's been up here. I think the development of the children. It's all bad, bro. It's all bad.
Well, I know Bench and Ewing had a better week this homestand. So they're starting to slowly come around. So that's a good sign of the future.
Yeah, and Simeon's been hitting a little.
Simeon slowly, Alvarez is not back yet. He's gonna be out for a while, right?
Yeah, but now Polanco's supposed to be coming up. So
Who
who
know
do
what
you?
he's gonna be? He's been gone for 2 months.
Yeah, but who do you send down?
Who do you
Ah,
send down, Beatty? Hello, that's easy.
no, are you crazy? You have those Melendez guys in there. You got those
You know
Brujan
what?
and all that shit. Get that shit out of here.
Let me tell you something about Melendez, man. I don't know. Every time I seem to put on the Mets game, he always comes up. He's always at bat. He's
Yeah.
clutch, man. I'm not gonna lie. He always comes through when like the most. I don't know. That's maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a
Uh-huh.
good bench
I
player.
mean,
I'd keep him.
I was there for the home run that night.
Yeah, that was like last Friday when he hit the walk off home run and then wrapped around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yep. It was
Yeah,
either
I don't know.
Friday, yeah, or
He's great,
Saturday.
man.
Yeah.
He's like another Jose Iglesias, and but less quiet, but more quieter. If that makes sense. Who knows? I could be wrong. I don't know. I like him. He's great.
You know what? I never looked at it that way, but we don't need that. We need to figure out now. Obviously, Polanco's gonna come back, so somebody has to go, and it's gonna be one of those guys. It's not gonna be Beatty.
Probably
Beatty's
Vidal
been
Brujan. He's been here the
yeah,
least.
yeah. It's gonna probably be him because Beatty's not going anywhere. Beatty became our third baseman, like straight up. That's not third baseman. And then
And Mauricio's back in AAA.
no, Maurice just sitting there with his thumb or whatever it was, his finger hurt, can't play. Lindor, whatever. I don't believe it. I don't think he's hurt anymore. He's running drills, but I don't think he's running. I don't know. Get rid of
So
him.
you think he's just there to collect a paycheck? He doesn't care anymore. He lost interest.
Oh, it's not that he lost interest. He has to realize that the team ain't his to be worried about. You know, you play for a team. You know what I'm saying? Now you got a lot of youth in here. You got veterans like Soto. So the shit changes a little bit. So you have to be able to say, all right, things are different now. I don't have to run this show. Let the show run itself. Nobody has to be captain of this shit. Just go out there and play your position, man. He's not doing that. It's causing problems. You could tell. When Soto hit the grand slam, I did not see them interact. It was like he was avoiding Soto. Everybody was hugging up on Soto, high fiving him. Not Lindor.
Yeah, I don't know. You would think if you're both getting paid money, how much could you really be mad about each other? Like, what is there to? I don't know. What is there to be really hate each other about? Like, you're getting paid, I'm getting paid. All right, cool. We have our differences, but not gonna allow me to stop having fun or doing well. I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's more Lindor than anybody else because one thing you can reason why I think it's Lindor because if you can tell with Soto he's very even keel. I don't know if you ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Nothing phases him. That's one thing I like about him. Like, all right, if he's doing bad, great. If he's doing good, you would never know if he's doing good or bad. He just same mellow mindset,
Yeah.
goes up there, hits the ball. He's kind of gotten a little better defensively. He seems to improve a little bit.
Yeah, he's but whatever.
But he's average.
But his bat right now is insane. So
he's the reason why he had that good homestand.
He's part of it for sure.
Last week in New York. So
he's definitely part of it.
If I'm the Mets, see, the problem is you kind of need Lindor back because the guy that's playing for him now is not like lighting up the world. He's just a placeholder.
Yeah, he has Bichette playing.
Bichette's been all right.
He's trash. He's trash, but let's be honest. He's trash.
He just had a very horrible start. I thought he would start performing. He was the one of those guys that, you give it time and he'll be fine. I still believe that with him. I think give it time, he'll be fine. He was doing well for a little bit, then he kind of cooled down again. So I don't know if changing positions kind of messed him up a little bit. I think it might have because, third base is his main go-to, and I is forced to play this because, your main guy is out and you can't put Mauricio there, and this guy's out. So I don't know what's going on.
So bad. But
just mismanagement by the manager.
Yeah.
And then what makes me mad about that too is if you and I can see the mismanagement and Stearns can see it, why aren't they doing anything about it? So I'm convinced they're all in cahoots with him doing whatever he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you got to think that.
And then the other thing I want to know is how tied is he to how much tie does Stearns have to does Cohen have to Stearns? Because from what it sounds like, I don't think he's gonna get rid of Stearns. I don't know what his love and fascination is with this guy, but I don't see him leaving at the end of the year. Even if they don't make the playoffs, the only guy that's gonna change is Mendoza. Everyone else in the coaching staff is gonna be gone. That's it. Stearns is gonna be there, and they're gonna say, "Well, he's done a good job. He got all these guys." Blah blah blah. Okay, hey, look, and then the only good thing, what's gonna make him look good if these prospects produce and do well. So far, it just started, so it's gonna make him look, oh, look at these guys you got back.
Yeah, but they are though.
Yeah, and those guys they got back from trades, whether it be Texas trades or White Sox trades. I don't know where each guys came from, but you know what I mean. So it's like, oh, look, maybe you can develop a farm system,
Yeah.
But that might be his only saving grace because they're going to be like, wait. Yeah, the guys he brought in didn't produce, but Look at these prospects you got. Look what they're doing. This guy's doing. This one's doing. You know. So
Yeah, when you have all the money and you can get any player you want if you really want him, it's more difficult that way. When you don't have any money and you're budgeting and you're like, oh man, how much should I put up on this one guy? I have to get two for the price of one. It's a little different, you know? So I don't know. It's so weird.
yeah. Well, even if they get on if they do what Baltimore's doing right now, where they win 8 out of 11 games, it's still gonna be hard to catch up because Philadelphia seems to be all of a sudden winning. Atlanta just keeps winning. And the Washington Nationals, they might be better than you, and they have less stars than you,
They are
which is
way better.
crazy.
They're hitting. They're hitting.
They have no pitching, but they have good hitting.
Oh my God.
Imagine if you could take the Nats offense and attach it to the Mets starting. Mets would be in first place
Perfect.
because
Yeah, our
yeah, the
pitching is
Mets would be
good,
in.
bro. Our pitching is
Yes,
good, man. I'm sorry. I feel bad for those guys. It's crazy.
I only feel bad for Peralta and McLean because those guys every time they pitch, their average ERA is 2 point something. It's like crazy, and you still can't win. And you look at their record,
Can't
like,
produce. You can't produce.
huh?
Can't
You only have
produce
this
runs.
many wins? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, it makes no sense. Makes no sense. And that's not even the crazy part, Lasha. The crazy part, nah, I don't know.
The, the crazy part is that they're gonna lose Peralta at the end of the year,
Yes.
and they're fine with that. They're doing what the Royals did a couple years ago. They made all this trades for Burns, and they let him go. So far, it's worked out for Baltimore because Burns is still hurt, and he's going to second year with Arizona. He missed all last year, and he's basically hurt again this year. But the Mets told us they want a true ace. They haven't had a true ace since DeGrom.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
this is the problem now. So they're thinking, all right, if we're sellers, we're gonna get rid of Peralta, right? And then he really wants to be here. So after that run, he's gonna go up for grabs because he's gonna be a free agent. And obviously, Mr. Boris, right? I believe that's the guy, isn't gonna allow him to talk to the Mets now. So you get rid of him, you get a prospect, right? You get something for a player, a team in contention, right? And then at the end of the season, you go get him back. But at this point, you're not gonna do that because school ballers out there, and who wouldn't want to have that? So
plus he's probably not going to come back after a year like this year.
that's exactly what my dad said. He's like, "Yo, wait a minute. So you got rid of me, and now you want me back. But that doesn't mean that he'll come back. But think about this: you go on to a team that's going somewhere, they actually win the whole shit. They probably want Peralta back. And he's gonna say, "Man, I can see myself winning another one with this team. Let's do it."
Yeah.
Gone, just like that.
Think about it. It's a team that could go after him. The Chicago Cubs. They need pitching. They're kind of struggling.
You see?
They make the playoffs. He gets to face his old team, Milwaukee. Or who knows? Maybe Milwaukee might trade back for him. Like, hey, we'll take him back. They need. Their starting rotation's not bad. Um, But they might like, hey, you know what? Just for a 4 month, 3 month rental. All right, let's get him back. Let's see what happens. Maybe we make a run for it.
Yeah, but
Or
you have to
maybe
give. Yeah,
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is in the race right now.
you have to give something good up, even though it's a short term. You know what I'm saying? You have to give something decent up because you know what it means. There's a lot of teams out there that are willing to outbid. You know what I'm saying? And go above and beyond just to get the player. Especially two teams that are gonna have to bump into each other. Imagine
Yep.
they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, I'm not gonna let them have him. I gotta
No.
fight for this one. I'm gonna have to give him a little extra. I don't want to, but I will." That's kind of like what happened with Soto, where the up and down, the back
You have
and
to give
forth.
to get.
Yeah, you're like, all right, how much for this guy? Nah, I got this for this guy. Went with the highest. That's what he did. He didn't care. It could have been the Chicago White Sox with the highest bid, and he would have said, "I'm going with the Chicago White Sox." And look at Chicago now. They're in second place.
But Chicago, they've been struggling, man. They had the
No,
10-game losing
the
streak.
Cubs. The Cubs. You're talking
Yeah,
about.
so I mean, the Cubs had 10-game
Yeah.
losing streak. They got back on track. They won 2 or 3 games, lost again. So they're just lucky that the NL Central is pretty good because everyone's above 500, even the Reds, and so that you might get 3 teams. I don't think you'll get 3 teams out of the Central because one team's going to win division, the other one might get the wild card spot. Because in the National League East, you have 2 teams vying for a wild card and the division. Well, more so the wild one. Atlanta's probably going to win the division. The other team's going to win the wild card.
Yeah.
That being the Phillies.
Of
And
course.
then in the West, it's the Dodgers. Dude, man, it's amazing how bad the San Diego Padres are. Holy smokes. 2 years ago, we were talking about, they might make it to the World Series. They made all these trades. Tatis, not to change subjects, my favorite player, he has no home runs in 40 whatever games we've already played so far into
I gotta tell you why. I gotta tell you why.
60 games.
I gotta tell you why. I know exactly why.
Why? Why do you think it is?
Big League Advance. That's what it is. The firm that gave him $2 million at the age of 18 when he was a minor leaguer. And when he signed on the dotted line, destroyed him because in exchange for those $2 million, if you make the MOB, they have to get a 10% of that contract. Whatever contracts you get through the MOB, they get 10% of that. So his last contract was what? 374 million or some shit like that. No, 340 million. Right? Yeah, 340 million for 14 years. That's what it was. So he owes those guys $34 million. How crazy is that? Why didn't we come up with that?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So basically, with this firm or this, basically, what they tried to help players who are trying to make it to the majors. Usually what they'll say is, it's like a job, right? They'll say, okay, listen, we'll give you this amount of money, but if you don't make it, you have to pay us back that money.
You don't
For
have
this case, it's the other way around. You don't have to pay it back, but we're banking on, and also these people when they give out this money, they have a pretty good idea. Like, okay, this guy's gonna be pretty good. Like he's gonna be a star. His dad was a star. He's fast. There's all these good attributes that Tatis has. So they're like, oh, listen, it's a smart business deal if you think about it, because they placate to the emotions of the player at the time. Think about it. If you're 17 years old and someone offers me $10 million,
$2 million.
$2 million, dude, that's like generational wealth, man. I could, you know what I mean? I could send all my nieces and nephews to college with that kind of money, or my siblings, whatever. So anyway, so they're banking on, okay, well, think about it. We give him $2 million now. Well, if he makes a $300+ million contract, we get $30 million of that. Dude, they just won $28 million profit. Find something where you can't even get that in the stock market.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So that's a pretty good deal. So it's a really good investment, And I think so. I think what you're trying to say is maybe he's worried about that because he's got. I don't know if the time to pay. I don't know if he's already paid these guys or time to pay up is coming up soon, or if he has to pay these guys on a yearly basis.
Yeah, he pays them on a yearly. He doesn't pay them straight up. He's paying them off. Slowly.
Increments.
Yeah,
like Bobby Bonilla.
But he missed the payment, so that's how he ended up in court.
Oh, that's why he's sweating, because he's wondering if, because a lot of these if these organizations are formed from the DR and like these impoverished companies, and they're not a U.S. based company, they could be like, hey, you ain't gonna pay us. They could send the cartels in there, or the illegal gangs that that are running the streets in DR, and be like, hey, he's coming home in January, or he's coming home in October. They ain't making the playoffs. Hey, when you see him over here, don't get him. Go get him. So he might be worried about it. Maybe he's worried about his life. Is his life online? But the question is why don't you pay the guys back? It's not like you're pissed broke unless you pissed away all that money. But that's not the case because you're still getting paid, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I don't think you get that money in a lump sum. Here's
They
$750
don't.
million dollars. No way.
Nah, every
It's
year you
per
get a different
year.
amount until they figure. I think they give you high at first, and then they start going low. Sometimes they give you
There's
low, and then the last couple of years is the high.
is the I. So think about it. Let's just say it's 300 something. All right. He's getting 25.
$340 million, 14 years. So you gotta like,
So anyway, let's just say he's making $50 million a year. Okay,
yeah.
dude, you have to pay this guy one time 30 million. Just
No,
pay him up. You get 20 million left over. Like, what's the deal?
I know, but exactly, but they're not. He's not doing that. So he's dropping it in increments of I think a million, 1 point some shit. I believe. Let me see. Is it here?
So here's the other issue why that
Oh,
could be going
3
on
point. Oh no. Yeah, no, 3.74 million. That's what he drops.
per year.
That's no. I think no. That's in back payments. That's in back payments. That's how much he owes.
So basically, in 1 month payment, they got their money back in 1 month, essentially. So here's the thing.
If I have the money in the house, I'm gonna give it to them and get it over with.
If I had it in my ashtray, I'd give it to him. But here's the thing. So here's the issue. He's probably sweating it because he's probably mismanages money and doesn't have the money, or he just wasted it. Because you had to have known when you signed that. See, if I was Tatis, it's easier because I'm not in his shoes and I don't have that kind of money. But if I did, like, it's like if I got paid, I'm gonna do my IOUs first. Pay back everybody. It's like when they say when you get paid, pay off your bills first, and then keep the rest for yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. All right, who do I owe? Okay, I owe Pablo money for StreamYard. Okay, here's your $40. Moving on, so on and so on. And then I go on with my life. Because if I don't, you're gonna start getting loud. Say, hey, where's my money? Where's my money? Blah 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 blah. And you're not gonna be mean like those guys, but those guys, see, Tatis might not know how evil those people could be. They could have sneaky plans to take him out. Go after, sue the hell out of him. Be like, all right, you owe me that much. Oh well, on top of what you owe me, I want this money because now you're late. So,
very dangerous. But think about though, at the age of 18, getting $2 million. I know. I mean, for him now, 2 million ain't shit, but that 2 million changed his life, And remember, this is him thinking it's super hard to get into the MLB. I might have a chance, but I can't guarantee it. And I can guarantee that this 2 million is mine right now. And if I don't make it, I don't have to worry about paying it back. So that's the best part about it. But if you do make it, boom. And of course you want to make it.
But see, here's the thing with Tatis, right? His dad made pretty good money. Now it wasn't, I don't know if it was generational wealth. So it's not like he had to go that route. So I wonder why he went that route.
Let's look that up. That's exactly what everybody's saying online. Look that up. Let's look up how much money
Fernando Tatis owes $3.74.
No, I'm talking about his dad. How much money his dad made while playing baseball? His total earnings.
Net worth or MLB earnings. Fernando Tatis Sr. earned approximately $17 to $20 million.
Oh my God!
So it's not like he come from a impoverished family. Like if he was like Yoenis Cespedes back in the day, or Roldis Chapman, or Yasiel Puig, where you came on a boat and you got snuck in by, that's a different story. So my thing is like, why'd you stop paying these guys? Do you think they wouldn't notice, or my guess is when someone can't pay somebody, it means you're running out of money, and he's spending it as fast as it comes in.
Because he probably thought that he was gonna sue these guys and shit. They were gonna tell him that he didn't have to pay, but the judge told him, "That's it. You gotta pay that. You signed that."
Oh, it makes sense. It's like you're telling me earlier today on the phone. Like if you go through paramedic school with the fire department, right, and you decide to quit before you finish the school. You got to pay back either the whole amount that cost of that program or up to what you did. So if the program is 32 weeks and you only went 11 weeks into that program, you got to pay up all that money and go where from those 11 weeks. You know what I mean? and then you're free to go. So I don't understand why he didn't pay these guys. Like nobody forgets when they money is owed to them. Like especially an organization like that. And then he's really at a disadvantage because the judge sided with that organization because the judge deemed that this organization is legit and they did everything. All the transactions were legit. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
like ill-gotten gains type of thing. And so by law, he has to be like, and it's a U.S. based organization. Sounds like so. It's like, dude, man, you have to pay these people back. You can't just like skip town and think they're gonna forget about you, and to go after them, which is crazy. Like, wait, you're going after people that you owe money to? It's like the stupidest thing in the world. Like, no
Yeah.
one would do that in the world. It's like me going after you, even though I owe you money for StreamYard. Like, that makes no sense.
It's not. It's not. That shit. This is some wild shit though.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious. I feel like there's something they're not telling us. Either it's something they're not telling us or something that he knows and he doesn't want to relay. You know what I mean? Because he might, because here's the other issue he might have. He might also have other debts that we don't know about. And so he's outweighing his debts. Who do I need to pay back? Well, that's more important. Family? Is it friends? Is it family, family members, friends, or people he met along the way? Or, who there's so many types of people you would owe money to, you know what I mean? Acquaintances. So he's like, well, if I don't pay this guy back, this guy might do more harm than this firm that gave me this money. Who knows? So
Yeah,
I don't know. But it's very weird that someone who makes 300 something million just like, I don't feel like paying these guys. And if they come after me, I'm just going to sue them and, hope to God that, the judge stays on my side or sides with me because, I'm a superstar. I'm the face of a franchise and, and the one of the four major leagues in the sports. Maybe he'll be like, yeah, just leave him alone. Don't worry about it. But
yeah, right.
It doesn't sound like it.
So, we've been talking about all this shit with the standings, right? And, we're in June now. Next month, you have to decide what your team is all about. Are they sellers or they buyers? They have to figure it out. These guys, I don't think they figured it out yet, but I'm looking at the standings, right? And the standings they look pretty now. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see the battles now. Now you can see what's going on. Everybody except for the Mets, obviously, because the Mets are nowhere near the battles. But you have Tampa Bay and the Yankees, with the same record pretty much. The Yankees have one more loss. But it's interesting. You start to see it, right? Even you guys are good. You know what I'm saying? You and Toronto are tied 29-32. And, with a couple of good, series wins, you can get up there too. And the Yankees, can fall apart for a couple of weeks.
They did. They were struggling for a while. The Yankees couldn't produce, especially against the Mets. They weren't producing runs. The lineup was, not productive. And but the thing is with them is they had a good cushion, so they could afford to have a little bit of a slip.
Yeah.
But a team like Baltimore, they started off slipping a little bit. Now they've won 8 out of 11 games. So right now, I'd be a seller if I'm them, just because you really need.
Nah,
right now, yes.
No way.
Dude,
yeah,
games
8.5. There's over 100 games to go, bro.
Wild card, you're 1 game out of the last wild card spot. Okay, so yeah, you gotta get past Athletics and the Rangers, to get to that last wild card spot. Chicago's 2 games ahead of you. It looks like. Let's see, 3 in the loss. Yeah, so 3 games behind Chicago for the last spot, and the Yankees. So I don't know, man. They just don't have good enough pitching. The pitching has gotten a lot better lately. Baez is doing better. Bassett had a good outing. So the guys that they signed, they're slowly getting it back together, which is good if they can. Maybe it just took a while to find them, which is great. Bass has thrown 2 consecutive good games. Bassett pitched the other day. He had a good game. So if their pitching can start getting together now, so this is what you want. You want your pitching to get right when it needs to be. If the pitching gets well and the offense starts to pick up and Alonso starts getting hot Dude, you know what the best player has been right now for the Orioles? Sam Basallo, the catcher. He's hitting like 330, like 6 or 7 home runs. He's been the month of May has been amazing for him, man. He killed it. He's been one of the main leaders to carry this whole offense. Him and Hernandez, or excuse me, Henderson,
Yeah.
have been carrying the team offensively. Alonso, he'll hit a home run here or there, but he's lately been, producing ones with doubles and base hits. But he still sucks in the clutchy moments. But um, Blaze Alexander starting to get together. You know, so Leone Tavares, he comes in. Jeremiah Jackson, he's good. Jackson Holiday just got back. He hit his first home run a couple weeks ago, and so if he can see, that's the guy the Orioles really need to produce because they invest a lot of money, and he was the hype of the organization. He was the hype of the major leagues as the number one prospect, touted prospect, and he's really, really underperformed. And this is going into his second full season, I guess. Yeah, second full season. Like, you should be figured out by now, in my opinion.
I think
You
so.
know, because pretty soon you got to start paying these guys, and you got to determine, can I let Holiday go? Can I let Henderson go? I think they're gonna probably let Rutschman go and keep Henderson. Henderson seems to be more of the leader in the or more of the leader of the franchise. The face of the franchise. I can't speak. So
So
you know what I mean, and they can afford to let Rutschman go because now you have a catcher in Basai who's actually producing a lot better offensively than Rutschman. Rutschman's a good defender. Rutschman always starts out slow. He starts out slow April, slow May, then he gets on the heater in June and July. But by then it's like either like if you're like the Orioles last year, where you're by the end of May last year, the Orioles are like 12 games under 500. So they've done a little better, and they've done they in this 8 out of 11 they had good streaks. They swept the Tampa Bay Rays. You
that's
know,
amazing. Yeah.
Toronto's a decent team. Remember, they're a World Series team from last year, but they're not the same as last year. Detroit sucks, but y'all took 2 out of 3 from Detroit. They're terrible. And they took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, so that was a plus. So who knows? I'm not fully confident yet. I have to see consistency from. I want to see how this pitching staff does for the whole month of June. If they're just lights out, they're winning all the games pitching wise, and the pitching is doing well, I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's time to be buyers. And that's the nice thing about June. You have a whole month to decide. You
Yeah.
know, you don't
Yeah,
have
but
to make that decision now. But we're thinking ahead because you live in the moment and you see what's going on. Same thing with the Mets. Maybe the Mets go on a heater. Maybe they win 12 of the next 14 games or 12 of the next 15 games. Okay, you won 12 out of 15 games. Okay, you're now only a couple games under 500. Can you get back to 500 before the 4th of July or mid July before that? If you get to back to 500 before the trade deadline and you see the wild card, and you're not going to win the division, but you can get that wild card, you might say,
hmm,
you know what? Maybe we are buyers, but you needed to go on a streak. And that's the problem. You need to see consistency. I wasn't seeing consistency with the Orioles. I'm starting to see a little bit now. I don't know how long it's going to last. The Mets, we have not seen consistency. They they had a great homestand, and they had a good game against Seattle in the first game, and then they blew it. They gave up a late run in the 12th inning, and now they're doing all right now. I think they're down by 2 right now, or down by 1 versus Seattle right now. So it's just 4-2. They're down by 2, bottom 4. But either way, it's just they're inconsistent, and you can't win games being inconsistent. 1 minute
and
you're hot, next minute you're cold, and then we as fans are like, oh, all right, look at this. All right, let's carry that momentum. Like I was thinking okay, man, let's carry that momentum that we had in New York and bring it with us to Seattle. Seattle, yeah, Seattle, man, I gotta give Seattle a lot of credit. They started out 10-15. They've won 7 in a row. Now they've taken first place in that division, and that division is terrible. Houston is terrible.
yeah.
Oakland is still rebuilding. Texas is, I guess, in my opinion, I always say Texas is kind of like old. They don't have a stars anymore.
But still,
DeGrom has been, they have decent pitching.
the division is fun though. You know what I'm saying? At least that division is fun to watch because if you look at it, everybody's pretty close. So you never know. Even the Angels can turn it around and do something with it. They're not playing like the Mets. When you're 14 and a half games back, things are bad, bro. You know? Uh, Everybody, that's a fun race right there. Philadelphia and Washington, 31 each, right? And then, of course, the mighty Braves, 41. For my birthday, right? Your teams are playing together. The Orioles are playing in Atlanta, and I believe
I
in
looked this up.
Baltimore.
I thought we don't play them each other. Yeah, it's gotta be in Baltimore because they came to Atlanta last year.
Yeah, it's in Baltimore.
July what, 24th?
July 24th, they're playing.
Oh yeah, in Baltimore. Oof. Yeah, they might. I don't know. See, look at it right now. I'm like, oh, they're gonna smoke us just because Atlanta's offense is just so powerful, and their pitching has been stifling. Amazing how good they are. Grant Holmes. What's his name?
Ooh.
Spencer Strider. All these
Oh,
guys. Lopez. All these guys. But who knows? Maybe, but maybe when the Atlanta comes to faces, they might be on a downspin tailwind. Who knows? Every teams has good times and bad times.
of course.
It's just the thing is you want the good times to last longer and you want the bad times to last shorter.
Yep, you have to
And
win
right now for
fast.
the Mets, it's the long time is the bad time is lasting longer than the good time, and that's a problem. So who knows? It'll be interesting. From the Mets standpoint, if you are gonna trade, that's the question. Who? Yes, you're gonna probably trade. Let's be honest. But who do you want to trade, and who are you willing to trade? You already know you're not touching your prospects, your pitching prospects. So that's off the
No,
table. You're basically going to start off with all the guys that are free agent at the end of the year: Peralta, Bichette,
Holmes.
Holmes. Is Weaver a free agent now at the end of the year? Or is he with y'all for a while?
I
Luke
can't
Weaver.
remember.
So you
Oh,
start with
Bichette.
those
You
guys.
said Bichette, right?
Yeah, Bichette.
Yeah, because he's
He's
gonna
a
opt
free.
out.
He can opt out. So I think you'll definitely get something good prospects back for Peralta. You could get a mid-level prospect back for Bichette. It depends on how he's doing at the time of. But at the time of the trade deadline, if he's on a heater and he's doing well, and you're winning games, great. If he's doing what he's been doing, where he's just like, Bichette's been very streaky. He'll go on a 4-game streak where he's just killing the ball, and then just back to 3-game losing streak. Losing where he's just 0 for 3 or 1 for 3.
Yeah.
So who knows? But anyway, I have. Would you be curious to know the hitter of the week and the gunslinger of the week for
Would
this
I?
week?
Let's do that.
So, the gunslinger of the week is going to be. I have to get his name right because it's some fancy Korean name, and
It's fancy.
yes, the gunslinger of the week is Tatsui Amaya, on for the Houston Astros on May 25th versus Texas in a 9-0 win. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 0 hits, 0 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. So him and the rest of the bullpen threw a no hitter. So he got the gunslinger of the week. And my hitter of the week is, because I gotta be a little biased,
Oh man,
because that's right. Leave me alone.
that's right.
Is Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles on
That's
May
right.
27th versus Tampa Bay, an 11-2 win against Tampa Bay, a part of that sweep last week at home. He went 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs. So
That's
he's
it.
definitely, huh?
That's it. That's all he did.
That's it. I know. I was hoping he'd get like 4 more home runs in the game.
Well, I got the numbers for you for the Mets too. Check this out.
Yeah, give me
All
your
right.
number. The Mets at the recent homestand you're talking about.
No. Last 7 days. I like to do 7 days. So
Yeah.
Carson Bench, 24 at bats, 6 hits, right? 2 doubles, a home run, 3 RBIs, 11 total bases, 7 strikeouts, 2 were based on balls. Not so
That's
bad.
pretty good.
That's pretty good. AJ Ewing, 23 at bats. Here we go. This is the problem. 3 hits. You see, he's not going in the right direction now.
Carson
Nothing
Bench.
happened. Yeah, he struck out 9 times. No. Ewing. Only got 3
Oh, yeah,
hits in the
Ewing.
last 7 days. Juan Soto got 7 hits in the last 7 days. 22 at bats, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 16 total bases, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. This guy's a machine, batting 318 in the last 7 days. Insane, you know? And then after that, it all falls apart. Marcus Simeon is the other one. 19 at bats, 6 hits, 2 home runs, 4
Mm-hmm.
RBIs. That's the guy right there, you know? He batting 316 for the 7 days.
Well, you got him for his bat, but for his defense, but if he
Defense.
can heat up,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a lot of pressure off of Soto. You know, what you want for the Mets is what happened last year, where Pete Alonso helped Soto and vice versa, and
Yeah,
that's why
the
they
new
were able to do
protection.
so many runs.
He has no
Protection,
protection.
exactly.
He has no protection.
If you can get the guy in front of you and the guy behind you produce, that's how you become a dangerous team. But right now, the guys that are in front and behind of Soto are either rookies or guys who they brought in from last year and they're just not producing. You know what I mean?
They're not. So what else you want to talk about to me? You want to talk to me about what?
Let's see how Seattle, man, they've been on a 7-game winning streak without Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh's been out for a while, but they've been doing really good. Was it Josh Nail has been doing well? That's the guy they got from Arizona last year. He played on Cleveland. He's been productive
Yep,
for them.
he did.
J.P. Crawford has been great. Julio Rodriguez. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they've definitely turned it around. They were what 10-15 I think at the beginning of the year, and they were kind of slow, but they've gone on a heater. So that, in my opinion, I had them winning that division this year, just because they made the playoffs last year, and they're the you know they're the best team in that division, in my opinion. Oakland is still, Oakland, whatever you want to call them. The Las Vegas Athletics, they're a year or two away. Texas, they have starting pitching, but they just don't have offense. Houston, I don't know. Ever since the cheating scandal, they've been trash. No, Yordan Alvarez came back, so he's been doing all right for them, but he's not much. Altuve's not doing much. And like you said about the Angels earlier, they're just
Back. Never.
they're 9 games back. They're just 15 games on the 500. It's gonna be hard to come back. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, they've lost 2 in a row. Um, so, but the division I'm really excited about is that Central, man. St. Louis has been doing pretty well. They're
We're about to play them too.
yeah, Pittsburgh's been amazing. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're 4 games above 500. They're coming to Pittsburgh. They're coming to Atlanta this week. I'm going with my buddy Nathan. He's from Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see Paul Skeen's pitches because Paul Skeen pitches tomorrow, and so we're gonna miss him. But either way, it's gonna be a good series. I was telling him, I was like, bro, I hope it's a high-scoring game. It's extra innings, yada yada yada. That'd be a fun outing. I always enjoy going out to games with a bunch of friends. I've done that a couple of times so far since I moved down here. We go in a group and we just have a good time. So it's it's good to see the Pirates be good again. They've been bad for most of my whole life. They got good again in the 2014s and 15s, and then they kind of fell off again and kind of rebuilt. But Ryan O'Hearn, the former Warrior, he's been killing it for them. Marcelo Ozuna, he's doing well. Mark Reynolds, one of the best homegrown players. He's been the longest 10-year player. I think he's been there like 7 or 8 years. And then Skeens and Ashcroft. So they got decent pitching. I don't know the rest of the rotation, but they're doing okay. They're surprised. It's crazy how Chicago was only 3 games above 500, and early in the year, they were on fire, and then they came back to earth, lost 10 in a row. Cincinnati, They just don't have the pitching staff, and the offense is not all that great. I don't know that many players on Cincinnati, but I know I there's you
No,
know
but that's a tight. That's a super tight race. That division's
yeah.
having fun for sure.
And Milwaukee, man. Let me tell you something. You know what? Milwaukee and Tampa Bay are very similar teams. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. The only difference between Milwaukee and Tampa Bay is actually there's not much difference. They're both uh, teams with not a lot of money, but they always manage to find stars in their farm system and develop them, and they do really well. And they play small ball really well, and they make you pay for your mistakes. That's one thing I noticed about Milwaukee. And every year they'll lose Burns, they lose Peralta. Now they got another guy, Morosky. Another guy's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they just keep popping them out like it's a factory. It's like, all right, watch. Morosky's gonna be gone in 2 years. They'll get another guy, and then they get
yes.
another guy.
I love it.
Yelich is getting old for them offensively. So it's not like they're doing it with hitting. And in my opinion, I think it's just their pitching's been really good. They might be done. They might be doing it with hitting too. I just haven't looked at their offensive record, offensive
Yeah,
stats.
nah, the differential is really good. It's plus 88. So they scored 284 and they've only allowed 196. So you're probably right. The defense is crazy. The pitching is crazy.
Yeah. In American League, in the NL West, three teams are above 500. So 5.5 games out is not really bad. San Diego, their offense has just gone to poops. It's just been amazing, and their pitching too. Michael King he's been doing all right.
Well, guess what? Guess what? Let me tell you something. You know what's gonna happen after this? Because after Seattle, after this series, we go see San Diego. So every team that wants to get right and right the ship, they play
They
the
do it
Mets.
against the Mets.
Exactly.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and beat the
Beat the
Mets. I say
Mets.
beat the Mets, not meet the Mets.
Yeah, I don't. You gotta beat them up. It's true. It's what's happening.
Because
Look, right now we're about to lose the series tonight in the fifth inning, top of the fifth, 4-2. Of course, we're losing, and yeah, we lost last night because Mr. Minter. We didn't want to talk about this, but I want to say it.
oh
Mr.
yeah, let's
Minter.
talk about this blunter.
Yeah, this is crazy to me because I forgot about the game because I'm a Met fan now, so it's depressing to watch. So
Well, it's not that. It's late, man. You gotta get up at work at 5 in the morning. Game ends
no,
at
no,
like
yeah, but
12:30 at
I
night.
was up, and I was like, you know what? Let me tune in real quick. I tune in. It's at bottom of the fucking 10th, and I see Minter on the mound, and I'm like, okay, obviously, Randy's on second. He's the ghost runner, no outs, and then he disengages. He looks over, so obviously that's one. Doesn't throw. Then he does it again. And I'm like, how could you do that? Now, after the second time, you can't throw anymore.
The
The
guy
runner
gets
knows
automatic
that.
third.
The guy gets the automatic. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, pop fly, hit, whatever. The next hit was a short fly. And the guy comes in. But if he would have been a second, it would have been a man on first and third type situation, not that. I'm so angry. I can't even talk. Makes me angry because we
Say
lost that
that
game based on bullshit. Because we could have definitely got on.
you lost on another fielding blunder.
Yeah,
Same thing. It's like the Peterson not covering home plate and then won that game. Then they lost the game. Same thing. How did you not know that you've already thrown the ball over twice? Like,
yeah,
dude. And remember, the rule in baseball is that you only can throw the ball over twice per at batter. So if Tatis is at bat and you throw the guy to first base twice, then you're done. But if Tatis' bat is over, now Machado comes up, you get another two chances to throw that guy out. It's not for the whole inning. You know what I mean?
but better.
Yeah, it's per batter. So, and then what happened is, like you said, I didn't see the game, but going from what you and Craig were telling me earlier, is that it basically put the runner in scoring position. They got a pop,
Hmm.
was a pop out or a base hit, and
I think it was a little
lazy
bloop to
ground ball.
left
Yeah.
or pop fly. Doesn't matter. It was enough to no. It was a hit. It was a hit because he came in. I think it was a hit. I turned it off right there. I was so angry. I just turned it off. Either hit or pop fly doesn't matter. The guy came in and they won
Yeah.
to left field.
And think about it, if that doesn't happen, the guy's at second, so
He
on
would
a
have been
little
on.
Bob fly, he would have made it to third with two outs.
Yeah,
Or however many outs
exactly.
was the game.
I
Was
think
it
there
two
was
outs?
no outs. I can't remember.
There was
But it
no
doesn't
outs?
matter. Yeah, the fact that he put that run on third, that's all that mattered.
And Minter just came back. Remember, he was out all last
I know
year.
that's why, man.
He was good with the Braves. I
Yeah,
was like, "Ooh, I like this pickle." When he went there, I was like, "Man, I'm gonna miss him. He's really good out of the bullpen." And minus that blunder, I don't know how well he's doing. He just started coming back, so I
just
can't.
came
There's
back.
not much to judge sample wise.
Exactly. All right, so I have a lightning round for you. You get 3 strikes and you're out. Obviously.
3
Okay.
strikes here. You out the
All
hole.
right, so
Go
these
ahead,
are fast
fire away.
questions. You have to answer them fast. Okay, get ready. In 3, 2, 1. How many players does one team have on the field during a baseball game?
9.
Okay, how many outs does each team get in 1/2 inning?
3 outs.
How many strikes equals a strikeout?
3 strikes. You out of the old ball game.
How many balls earn a batter a walk to first base?
4 balls.
What is the name of the Major League Baseball Championship Series?
World Series.
Which franchise has the most World Series titles?
Yankees.
Who holds the
Yankees.
MLB record for the most career hits?
No, that's consecutive games. Ooh.
5,
Hits?
4, 3, 2.
Babe Ruth. I don't know.
Pete Rose.
Oh, I should have known this.
Who holds the MLB record for the most career home runs?
Barry Bonds, even though he cheated.
What do you call a hit that lets the batter circle all the bases and score?
Inside the park home run.
What do you call a game in which a pitcher or pitchers allow no hits?
Pitcher or pitchers? Oh, either a no hitter or combined no hitter.
What do you call a game in which no opposing batter reaches base at all?
Perfect game.
What do you call a defensive play that records 3 outs on one continuous play?
Around the horn, double play, triple play.
Now you got strike 2. What do you call the area where pitchers warm up before entering the game?
Bullpen.
What is the strike zone in baseball?
The area where the ball has to land in order to count as a strike.
Between what and what?
Between the home plate.
And what else?
And the batter.
And what about the batter?
It basically, because the strike zone differentiates based on the batter's height or whatever.
Okay,
the distance from where the batter's standing, whether he's standing left or side or right side of the plate.
Okay, you kind of got it. Okay.
What is it?
No, it's okay. So it's the area over home plate, right? Obviously, and then roughly between the batter's letters and just below the kneecap. Okay, that's what we were looking for. But it's okay. We gave it to you. And okay, last question. And you got 2 strikes, so this is gonna be it right here. This is it. Which city is home to the National Baseball Hall of Fame?
Cooperstown, New York.
Wow, you got it. So
that's right. Every July they do the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Is that right?
Wow, I can't believe you did it. You survived. 2 strikes. You had 2 strikes. You almost struck out. You got that. Wow, that was good. You're pretty good on your feet. All right, Rose, that was a good one. You know, Lasha definitely had a lot to say, a lot of important stuff, different perspectives. I'm sick and tired of this shit. This fucking team is killing me. But we'll survive. We'll be all right. Let's see what happens on this road trip. Not too good.
Is this road trip a 6-game road trip?
Yep.
So yeah, we gotta go 4-2.
Yeah, but not anymore. I mean, we haven't lost this yet.
Well,
it's the 5th inning. We're going into
it's still early.
It's still
down
early.
by 2. I wouldn't call it cancel.
Yeah. You know.
But either way, who do you play after Seattle?
San Diego. They're gonna rate the ship.
San Diego, you gotta take advantage of San Diego. They are bad. They're worse than you, and they got just as good enough players as you.
These guys are about to score another run in a second.
Really?
No, I don't even want to look anymore. But
in the 2nd inning, you might be behind.
Well,
or 5th inning, whatever inning it is.
Yeah, 5th inning. I'm behind, maybe. Who knows? You know how it is.
Well, we'll see y'all next week. See what the store has.
Peace,
man.